Hi everybody, welcome for another ride along. We're here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains up in upstate South Carolina. I'm Lawrence, Sarasota Supersport Performance. This is my buddy Ben. Ben's a local car guy. We're out on one of our great, really world-class mountain roads here in upstate South Carolina. And Ben, why don't you try to drive and introduce yourself and tell the folks who are watching this video a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you come from, and what kind of cars you drive, and what you were doing today.
I'm from Greenville originally, grew up here, grew up driving these roads, grew up driving the Tail of the Dragon up near Tellico Plains. So mountain roads are my home, and I've always been into cars. My dad's always had some cool cars growing up. I'm used to it, and I've had some fun cars. My last car I had was a GR Corolla stick shift. I loved that car, it was amazing. And now I've got a 07 Cayman S, love it even more. I like that old school feel, and I'll tell you, this thing definitely gives you that. It's raw.
Yeah. So now a Cayman S, and the Cayman platform in general is an awesome platform, known for the handling. So you're no stranger to a good handling car is nothing new to you.
No, I've got the one with the hydraulic steering, and I'll tell you, just in the few minutes I've been driving this, I love the torque and the power on this. Like, we have the steering feel that true, like, guys that just love to drive the car want. I mean, this is incredible. And then the moment you get the gas, you can come out of the corner and just get on it and pivot that back end just how you want it for your corner exit. Lawrence, I don't know how you did this, but you are a freaking magician.
Well, so have you had any experience with Miatas before? Have you ever driven one? Had a buddy who had one? Or
I have, and I'll tell you, they drive great, but the one problem I've always had with them is that they've always seemed underpowered.
Yeah.
And it's always been my biggest issue with the Miata, because it would be such a good car if it had that extra power. And you know, I know that's not what it's meant for. It's meant to be light and chuckable, but
now you've got the power, or now this one has the power.
Yeah, I mean, this fixes the one complaint I ever had about the Miata, which was its lack of power.
Yeah. Now, I was not a Miata guy prior to starting this business in nobody's car. I knew they were great cars. I'd gone to like track day events and stuff when I was younger and had my personal cars. I came up in the world of 300ZX twin turbos. And so, fun cars, but more of a GT car than like a pure sports car or something for the track. When I did, I modified that car to make it more track day friendly. When I went to the tracks, what I noticed was freaking, not only all the Porsches, but freaking Miatas everywhere. And of course, I didn't know much about cars, and I didn't realize, but I'm not a dummy. If I see that many Miatas at a racetrack, obviously some other people know things that I don't. So when I got into this whole line of work, same thing. I like fun car, but I need the power. What I really wanted was a Cobra. I'm a Shelby Cobra fan. I love the Shelby Cobras, but I can't live with a Shelby Cobra. I gotta have a car with a roof. I need air conditioning. I need to be able to park it outside overnight now and again, or take it for a weekend someplace. And so that was kind of the way I'm pitching this to the customers and people who are interested, is it's a Shelby Cobra for our generation, like someone we can live with.
That might be the best way to describe this car. You've got that raw V8 feel. It's lively in the back end. It is a modern Shelby Cobra that you can daily drive.
Yeah. How do you typically use? Are you just DDing your Porsche? You spend a lot of time up in the mountains. You do track days.
I haven't done any track days in the Porsche yet, but I daily drive it to the office, and I take it up to the mountains. I grew up with my family having a place up in Tellico Plains, Tennessee. And we're 15 minutes from the start of the Cherhola Skyway there.
Okay.
So as a kid, before I even had a license, I don't know if I should be saying this, but I would drive some of those roads. Yeah. Sometimes my dad would let me. And then when I got a license, even in a lifted 4Runner, I'd try to whip it, rip it up those roads. And you know, when I got my first sports car, I just started going up there, and that's when I really just, I never knew why my grandparents bought it, and they didn't buy the place for the roads. They bought it for the property and the house, and because it was a pretty little town. But I told them, if y'all ever go to sell this place, you come to me first, because I'm going to buy it, because this place coming up here is like heaven to me. Yeah. The roads are freshly paved. They're amazing. Twisties. I mean, we got this road, this is an hour from me, 40-ish minutes from me, and this is a great road. You just can't beat it. And this is the kind of car, open top, screaming V8. Yeah, we're American, we love our V8s, that you want on a road like this.
Yeah, this is what this car was made for. And I know people think, oh, you could drag race it. I mean, and you could take it to the track too. Really, in the state you're driving in right now, really all it needs is pads. It needs higher temperature pads, and you can take it on the track. And 90% of recreational track day participants, this is going to be more than enough car.
Yeah, so I agree with that. But you know, taking it to the track isn't as big of a thing for a lot of guys around here that I know. It's more just coming up to the mountains. Yeah. Like, we got Paris Mountain, we got this road, a ton of other just beautiful roads, Pine Mountain, that are all within like an hour, hour and a half drive that we can just go and absolutely rip around.
I mean, the thing about track days for me, anyway, in my opinion, is the track day, there's no letting off. Like, you got someone right up behind you, you feel like you're in the way, so you feel like you got to drive you got to at least push, maybe not push your limits, but you got to drive the car hard the whole time. Whereas in mountain roads, you can let off, take it easy, you can give it a little, you can goose it for a few stretches and just drive at your own leisure, and it's just more fun. You're not breaking stuff like at the track. You don't have to worry about a lot of the stuff you got to worry about at the track, you know, getting yourself in too much trouble, because you do have the cops, you do have traffic here on the roads. You got to be mindful, so you can have fun, but I feel like I'm a lot less likely to get myself in trouble here up in the mountains than on the track.
And yeah, I agree with that. Like, we're behind someone right now, and I'm still having a good time because those pops, dude. Yeah. Those burbles are insane. And if I was on a track behind someone this slow, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm happy. I'm smiling. Sun's out. I got a screaming V8 in front of me that's making noise behind me. There's no complaints.
Now, what are your favorite things? So you've had your Cayman now for how long?
A few months.
A few months. What are your favorite things about owning the Cayman, driving the Cayman?
The feel of it. My one complaint of the GR, well, two really. In the tight corners, it understeered. And that was because of that all-wheel drive system.
Okay.
And I had the very first year of the GR, 23, so you could do like 30, 70. And then my other complaint was it was too quiet.
Okay.
It didn't make enough noise from the factory, and it got hit. I was rear-ended back in December, and when that happened, I was actually about to get an exhaust on it. Well, the Porsche, I am going to put an exhaust on it, but from the factory it sounds amazing. And it makes noise, and it's fun. Yeah. And that's one of my favorite things about it. The other thing is how well balanced it is. Yeah. I can hurl it into a corner, and it's just planted, and I can do the same thing with this. You've got this thing damn near close to perfect weight distribution, and I'm doing a good speed and just chucking it in. And you get a little bit on the power on the way out and just step it out just a little bit, you just go right into the corner. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so that was gonna be the next question, is how do you feel comparing it to your Cayman? You know, how does it scratch the same itches? It feels stronger, weaker in certain areas? You know, if you got other Cayman owners who are watching this video now, how would you compare this to the car that they're familiar with?
The Cayman is definitely more tame. This is a lot more twitchy, and in a good way. It's raw. The Cayman is really good, and it's really civil, and I can keep up with this in the Cayman, but this thing, I can tell just from driving it, it gives you more, you're more on edge in a good way. It gives you that fizz a little bit more. The noise is more. You've got the theater, the open top. The Cayman doesn't give you that, which this does. Now, it's a different feel because this is front engine, but you got it, like I said, pretty close to 50-50 if it's not bang on. What is it at, 50-50?
So this car is, the RF, this version that we're in with the power retractable roof, is 52-48.
Okay.
Now the soft top cars are 53-47. But it's indiscernible, right?
Yeah, that's not much of a difference. And I would probably want this one. I love the way it looks.
Yeah, this is the one everyone wants for whatever reason.
I'm chucking it into corners right now, and it's just, I love how the front is absolutely planted. That is one thing for me that is a make it or break it on if I like a car. If the back end can step out with my control of the throttle and the front end is just hooked, it gives me a lot more confidence going into a corner and being able to balance the throttle on the way out. Wow. Dude. That's incredible.
There's nothing else like it. I mean, you consider the price point, and it's pretty bonkers, to be honest. But this is what, I mean, I can only take so much credit. Flying Miata engineered the program, so they figured everything out, and then I just picked up where they left off and all the low-hanging fruit. And mostly it's mostly just quality of life stuff. And assembly stuff. But the car, the Miata, the ND Miata, the chassis is already fantastic. You don't need to touch suspension. What you're feeling is the Fox dampers with the iBox springs. The springs is just a matter of you know, getting a good spring length and the appropriate spring rate for the weight of the car. I mean, there's obviously a little more to it than that, but that's basically all you're doing is matching the springs and dampers. But the Fox dampers on this car are fantastic.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else I love. The shifter that you put in, that is incredible. It's tight, short throws, and I mean that's got great feel to it. Yeah. What kind of shifter do you have in it?
So the shifter is made specifically for me, for this car. It's manufactured for this car. I don't use the Tremec, the standard Tremec shifter.
Okay.
So the transmission happens to just mount perfectly where it needs to be mounted. So there's no like relocation bracket to get the shifter in the right spot.
That V8, it's an incredible noise it makes. I mean, it's perfect. It's got that nice deep rumble. It's got the burble sound, which isn't like BMW kid burble tune. It's like it's a genuine engine burble.
It's a really throaty baritone.
It is.
Pitch. You
know what it reminds me of a little bit? Ford GT.
Okay.
It kind of has some of that noise a little bit. Just that real deep, loud.
Yeah.
And I love how it just starts screaming on the top end. It's kind of got a nice little growl, and on the low end, we're at, 3,000 right now. And then when you get to the top end, it just starts screaming. It's just got this nice wail to it. And it's quality sound the whole way to the top of the rev run. Squirrely, that's fun.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about the stance that you've got this thing on.
Now, there's nothing exotic. The way I have the car set up is basically so that the driver, anybody, any driver can enjoy it without getting themselves in trouble. So, like, it's not set up for drifting. If there's some past videos, Quinn from the Slip Angle took the car out on the track video that they did, and he, they wanted to get some drifting shots, and he had to work to get it to drift because it's not set up. Set up, keep the car pretty tight and planted. Nothing exotic with the alignment. I think front and rear is the same, about 1.8 degrees of camber. I use basically Flying Miata's recommended alignment specs.
Okay.
And it works, especially for this. Now if you're on the track and you want it to be more tail happy, or if you want it more understeer, then obviously you've got the freedom to align it and to set up your suspension any way you want. And that's kind of the reason for the 235 tires. Now, 235 in the front is pretty much the limit that you're going to be able to get up front before it starts interfering with your ride height, your alignments, and then the fender liners under there, and possibly even start scrubbing on the edge of the sway bar.
So you haven't done anything to make any modifications to fit these tires. It's just how the platform is.
Yep, it's how the platform is. So we go same size tires, wheels, front and rear. The car's balanced. You're in a totally neutral. This is like neutral plain Jane. I don't want to say plain Jane, but very neutral starting point baseline Miata, and it just works. Especially for the street. You're never going to be able to push this car hard enough on the streets to get to the point where you feel like, oh, this suspension alignment setup isn't working for me. You really need to get out on the track before you can get really creative, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's perfect for here. I mean, we're doing some pretty tight roads, and absolutely no understeer. It's just hooks. That is beautiful. And I'll tell you something else I love is the feel, the steering feel here. It's you feel everything in the road. What kind of steering rack do you have in it?
No, this is a hydraulic rack, and so it's out of a 5th generation Camaro, so I use a General Motors steering rack. And the Mazda rack is an electric rack. And even though, yes, electric gives you less physical feel because you lose some connection, but it wouldn't fit anyway, even if I wanted to reuse the Mazda electrical rack. If you want the raw feel, then you want the hydraulic rack.
Yeah. No, the hydraulic rack is the move, and I'll tell you something else I'm impressed with, the brakes. Yeah. It stops on a dime.
Yeah, I think most people who've used Wilwood brakes know, but for some reason, Wilwood just gets overlooked. They're great. I mean, their website's awesome. They give you all the data you need to tailor the brakes specifically to your application.
It's really stiff, and it gives you that feel. As soon as you touch the brakes, you've got pressure, which is what I like. I'll tell you, that's one thing I can't stand about most modern cars is when you get in them, there's no pedal feel. It's just air, 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 and then all of a sudden you're like snapping your neck because you go to hit the brakes and it's just nothing.
No, I can't drive that way either.
You did a good job with that because it's really good.
So Willwood because they make awesome brakes. I've used Willwoods on all my cars. I've been super happy.
I mean, dude, the steering is incredible. The moment you turn into the corner, it just hooks. And then you get on that gas and you just twitch that back end out and your entry is right there, right where you want to be. And you don't even need to drive this car on the limit because it sounds so good and it's so fun. With the open top and everything, it gives you that thing that's missing from a lot of modern cars, that kind of just raw.
Now, what would you say you're doing? Would you say you're doing even over 6/10 so far?
Barely.
Yeah.
I've maybe on some of the straights. I've hardly pushed the car, and it's awesome. Yeah. But here's the other thing: when I have pushed it, it doesn't feel uncontrollable. It feels very well controlled.
Yeah, no, a lot of people think it's scary. I mean, I see it could be scary. Like if you're not, well, first of all, you just don't respect what you're getting in. 500 horsepower, V8, no traction control, no stability control. It can be scary. I mean, it'll bite you.
Yeah.
It has everything it needs. It has all the teeth necessary to bite the hell out of you. But it's not. It's super approachable. In my opinion, it's super approachable. It's easy to drive.
And I'd never gotten in this thing before, and I feel quite comfortable in it now. And I've been driving it for maybe what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think that's the Miata in it, the Miata DNA. It's still a Miata, and the Miata is just so approachable.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it can absolutely bite you, but it's also not terrifying when you're not on it. And it's not even, I mean,
it's not a Shelby Cobra. It's not trying to kill you.
It's not trying to kill you
at all times.
It could kill you, but and that's where I think it's got that kind of like extra little bit in there. The cars, everything's too safe nowadays.
Yeah.
And
no, that's what makes it fun.
This isn't refined. I mean, it's refined for what it is, but it's not so refined. It's docile.
No. Well, it's not Porsche refined. Like you get a Porsche, you get all the performance, you get all the pedigree. Porsche knows what they're doing. It's refined. So it's not that level of refinement. It's that level of performance, but it's just raw. It's that Shelby Cobra vibe that I always wanted as a car guy, but I couldn't live with the Shelby Cobra. You know, not as a second car. You know, Shelby Cobra is like your third car, your 12th car, whatever. But this could be your second car. I mean, you could go to work in this if your daily driver was in the dealership for what, you know, getting serviced or whatever.
Well, Lawrence, I'm a little crazy. I think if I had one of these, I would daily drive it. Just because it's freaking just awesome. Pull up to a light next to someone with this, and they're looking at you like something's off.
So that's another part of the driving experience is you instantly become a hero for every 12-year-old within earshot, you know, at all times. You're instantly a hero, and you're gonna get stopped at gas stations. In fact, before you showed up to meet me at the station, as I pulled up to fill this thing up, the guy was in the truck next to me. They were camping at the state park just down the road, and he had to look under the hood. You know, he heard the sound and he was like, what the heck is going on here? When this car first got built, when I started the company in Sarasota, taking it for its initial break-in miles, I got stopped by a sheriff's deputy, not because I was speeding, not for a citation. He had pulled up next to me at the traffic light, and he heard it, and he pulled up next to me, and that's the one that asked me to pull over so he could check out. He was just a gearhead, and so he just wanted to check out what was going on. And yeah, you get a lot of that with this car. And if you attend car shows, Cars and Coffee, it's just a Miata until you pull up the hood, or people hear you pull in, and then it attracts a lot of attention. So it's a big conversation starter, and it's fun because it's rare. There's a dozen of these on the planet at the moment.
Yeah, and that's actually how I met you. Is I was walking by and I was like, hold up,
yeah.
That doesn't come that way.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about your signature logo, the honey badger.
Well, I mean, you tell me. I feel like it's the perfect personification of the car, a honey badger.
It is. I think it's hilarious, and I love the logo. It looks so mean. But like, how'd you come up with that?
Well, I think the Hellcat logo is pretty iconic. So it's obviously I don't want to say a rip-off because it's not a Hellcat, but it's in the Hellcat style. And that Hellcat logo is so iconic that these, Hellcat guys, these Dodge guys they'll get that tattooed on their body. I mean, think about that. Corporate marketing material from a publicly traded company, and people are getting that tattooed onto their skin. And I was like, that is some powerful psychology there. And the car, I think the perfect personification of it is a honey badger. So I, went and found a freelance graphic designer, gave him a rough sketch of what I wanted. He put it in, he digitized it, and then we got them produced. And if you know the lore behind honey badgers in nature, if all the wildlife nuts nature documentaries watching, you know that honey badgers are these animals that are known for basically being 50% attitude and 50% teeth.
Yeah.
That are not scared to go after lions, elephants, anything that crosses their path.
They'll attack anything.
They're not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
They're all attitude.
This thing's got attitude.
And yeah, I think if there's one thing this car has, is it the fastest car? No, there's always a bigger fish. But there's very few things in this tiny little package that
have more
close.
Attitude.
More attitude. And really a Shelby Cobra is it.
Yeah. I like that. And you know what? If I buy one of these from you, I'm getting a honey badger tattooed. That would be, it's freaking awesome. I think that logo fits the car perfectly, and I actually love the look of it.
And I'm not a big badge guy. I prefer, like, the less badges the better, less decals and badges the better. Obviously I'm running a business, so I have to have the company logo on the car, otherwise I wouldn't. But I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm super proud of myself for the logo, and I think it looks really cool on the placement on the fenders.
Yeah, no,
it's a hat tip to the Hellcat. So good work, the folks at Dodge or Stellantis now. That's whoever did that in the marketing team probably deserves a raise. But it's a hat tip to it. But it works really well in this form.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that it does for you is when you're walking up to this thing, if it's not running, you'd never know. Yeah. You just would think, oh, it's a Miata with some wider wheels. And you see the honey badger logo and you're like, huh. Okay. And then the moment you start this up, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, you fit this engine into the platform completely. I mean, from the outside, there's no way you would be able to tell this thing has what, a 6.2 LS in it?
Yep.
Like, holy crap.
Yep. Yeah, no, the idea was basically for it to be like as if Mazda had like a secret side project that some engineer got to just, go wild. Basically deliver that kind of a car, that kind of an experience to someone. You don't want, have to cut up the hood and cut up all kinds of other parts of the car and have wiring exposed on the interior. You want it to be like as if this was something that came from Mazda, like a super limited thing that you had to know somebody at the company in order to get one.
Well, I'll tell you one other thing I appreciate about it, because this is a good-looking car in general from the factory, and you're able to keep that with what you've done. It still looks good, and it's kind of like a little sleeper. So, I mean, you can use it to go get your groceries, and wake the neighbors.
Yeah.